I was getting ready to mow my lawn. And then I woke up and there was this much snow on the ground. I thought, ah, shucks. In fact, I have a van. It's really my favorite vehicle. It's a 92, so it's like ancient, right? If you think of it. It's probably older than you are, right? 92?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
That's how you know they're good, though.
It's a Ford Econoline. It's like a great big blue boat, but it's rear-wheel drive. I have good snow tires on it, but it's absolutely torturous in ice and snow. Because I remember driving down the Glen Highway once in it, and a blue van that looked just like mine started passing me on the right. And I looked at it and I realized it wasn't somebody else's van, it was my van passing me on the right. The back of the van decided to go ahead, and I used to drive on the ice pad in the Army, teaching people actually how to deal with ice, so that was fun. But so I just turned and it swerved back, no problem. But it's not a good vehicle for that kind of weather.
Literally on my way here today, there was a Ford pickup in front of me getting off the I-6 off, and he was making his turn, and he had no traction with his rear wheel, and his tire was just spinning and spinning. He was going probably 2 miles an hour. I'm saying if he catches asphalt right here, he's flying off the bridge, because his tire was probably spinning like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There were so many brothers. They had to
Yeah.
leave the car brothers.
I was pulling up on a stone and somebody was like, they could have 40 feet in front of me, but they were slowing down, just stopping the light, and then out of nowhere, they really just like a 90-degree turn, like on bait, like just.
Yep.
And I was like, what the heck? And they were just like perpendicular to the road, and I was like, how did you manage to do that? And then they had to like do a little hook pointer to straight out. I was like, that's really embarrassing. Just go.
All those lower 48 people.
Well, we have, I think it's mostly military people that come up, and this is their first winter. And they're from Texas. Texas has snow, but Florida, you get some folks from Florida.
That was 2 days ago. It was everywhere was getting snow, but here.
I think
So
people
like
were
far
still out
from
of
Mass.
practice.
Yeah.
I like the 43-degree weather.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but when it rains and it freezes at night,
Well, we do have a couple people that emailed me saying that they're unable to come in for different reasons, but we're a little behind in my schedule, so I want to press on actually, but because we were working on the Republic, and the Republic is a very important book. People read it, have been reading it for 2,000 years, and so it's influenced an awful lot of people. In fact, the one comparison, I don't know if it's still up to date or not, but they say that the two books that have most influenced Western civilization, if we even agree on what that is the Bible on the one hand and the book, The Republic, on the other. So it's kind of interesting. Today, I think it might be the Harry Potter books. I don't know. Depends. There was an actual point where they reported that the current Harry Potter book, which I think was 7 at the time, outsold the Bible, which was like the first time a book sold more copies than the Bible that particular year or month.
that's ever happened in history.
Pardon?
I didn't think that had ever happened in history.
Well, it was, it was in the news, and I don't think it was fake news. So who knows? Well, in any case, so what's important about the Republic? There's really the focus is on justice, the question is on justice. They're concerned about answering that. They discover that real justice is give each his own. That's just the way I remember chant when I was in school. Yeo-ho, give each his own, whatever. So that's the operating definition that they're going to go on. And in order to do that, they move on to psychology. So this is where we get Plato's psychology, which is one of the questions I posed for you in the exam if you choose to pick that one. I think, I'm pretty sure. Or the quiz question, which I asked last week, if I remember right. It's kind of the soul question, but also, what's a person's personal character like? Is it fixed from birth, or does it evolve? In other words, the question of the nurture versus nature question. Remember, this is one of the first models, if not the first model we have of trying to explain human personality and the state, so together. And the famous line is that the state is man writ large. That's the way it was W-R-I-T, writ large. And what is the reference there? That as Plato describes the different possible psychological characteristics of an individual man, he also bases the state on the idea that there are these three types of individuals, and that the state that is a just state is arranged in a way that each individual gets his own, right? They get what that person is looking for in life, right? And he breaks that up. I should have looked for a triangle here somewhere. Let's see if I can find, or a pyramid. Is it pyramid or triangle? Okay, that's too big. That's the Timaeus. Let's go to images. That's not exactly the one I wanted either. Let's say triangle instead. I've had trouble with this before. It seems like it's like going out of style or something. All right, that's got to be close. It still doesn't look right. Oh, I should mention these. Plato has a theory of solids, and they're based on the idea. I'll show you which these are. That shoot, what in Fersi? It's a German site, but it's all right. So there's individual solids which are based on which solids mathematically have unique characteristics, and those are the solids. And the idea, of course, is that that's the particles that make up all of matter. So there are those different solids. However, you get out of this. Here's a good one. I'm not having luck today. Why is that? Where did the diagram go? It's not on that page. Well, let me just try to act like you can see that. And this isn't really what I wanted either. But if you imagine a triangle, hey, I have a device here I can do. It's ancient, but it works, right? So if it doesn't work. So that's a triangle. Well, not exactly a very good triangle, but you know. So theoretically, you've got three different types of psychology. The one type of psychology, he considers all the workers, right? So the people that are the ones that do all the jobs in a state. And what groups them all together is not the kind of work they're doing, but essentially the nature of them personally that seeks a particular kind of reward. And the reward the workers are asking for or expect or want or desire are physical things. So their goal is to make money, basically, or to have nice things, to buy a house, to buy furniture, to buy good food. I mean, anything physical, basically, that's what their life is dedicated at achieving. And in a sense, when you think about us today, that describes almost everybody. The individuals that he continues on and says, then you have the spirited folks, and the spirited folks are really what he considers the military. And these are the folks in Athens that were basically dedicated to being in the militia and defending Athens. You know, so their life isn't dedicated to receiving physical rewards, so he says, right? But instead military honors. You know, they want to be loved and respected for how brave they were in their defending the city against Sparta, really, at the time. And then the others are the wise. And you really grow into this. So there are certain literary characters that I can think of. I don't know if you remember Brother Cadfael. Anybody familiar with the Brother Cadfael stories? No? It's a series of novels about a monk who had been in the Crusades, but comes back and he becomes, a monk, and he's very knowledgeable about medicine, and he's also kind of like a Sherlock Holmes character in the story. So it's mystery, British mystery kind of thing, but based on a real, actual character, as far as I know. But so the goal of the workers is physical rewards. The goal of the militia, is spiritual rewards from the community. The kind of spiritual rewards of honors, medals. You get medals on your chest, and that's what you were after. The respect and the thanks of. I think even a football player, on the weekend football game, the high school game, the ones that are out there and they're literally physically destroying their bodies, trying to make sure that the crowd all cheers for them, because they're the ones that scored the touchdown, etc. What's his name? Travis Kelce. I don't know. Who you like, football wise. It's kind of intriguing though. We've got the Super Bowl set up now, right? The Eagles versus the Chiefs, right? Or would you say the Chiefs versus the Eagles? I don't know. Anybody watch football? That's actually the only game during the year that I watch. And I usually buy chips, Doritos. I don't know if that's okay. And I don't know, I might have to buy something new to drink this year because the beer I have is about 7 or 8 years old. I bought a 6-pack and I haven't had one. I usually have one beer with the Doritos for the game. A 6-pack lasts 6 years, so. Yes.
I figured out what the triangle is called.
Oh.
The ideal state.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's do that. Thank you for finding that. Okay, there we go. I'm still not, it used to be that if I clicked on the icon of the, things are changing on me, I guess. But there you get the idea. So the workers are down here, soldiers, philosophers up here. And